Vivek Lall is Chief Executive of General Atomics Global Corporation. Dr. Lall worked at Lockheed Martin and an important position with Boeing as well. Uh, in response to my question about the future trajectory of India-US defense partnership and the issues and whether the defense relationship will sustain its momentum, will it further scaled up, this is what he has to say.
The US-India defense corridor and some of the implications with the transition from the Biden administration to the Trump administration. I think over the years there has been a lot of progress in the US-India defense corridor, especially in terms of the various agreements that have been signed government to government and the defense trade that has continued to increase. I think that trajectory has transcended different administrations, whether Democratic or Republican, and I fully expect that will continue to move in that direction because India and the US are strategic partners and the relationship is multifaceted at this point. As you know, one of the significant developments in recent years has been the launch of the ISET program, and many critical and emerging technologies are of interest to both countries, whether it's artificial intelligence, semiconductors, quantum, and so forth. I do think that as the new administration comes into DC, there will be further impetus to the relationship, and it'll grow in strength, not only in terms of defense trade, but also in terms of some of these core critical and emerging technologies. One of the key pillars, even in the first Trump administration, was finding ways of incorporating the best of India to the US and the best of US to India in terms of not only the regulatory aspects as well as the transfer of technology aspects, but also in terms of the people-to-people ties. You have global talent that are working on immensely difficult problems to stay ahead of adversaries. And in that regard, one of the important aspects for deterrence is persistent surveillance. I think one of the major aspects of persistent surveillance would be whether it is space, air, land, undersea. They all are important. But I think the most economical and the most pervasive across the domains will be that by air. And as you can see, the geopolitics that we are engulfed with today requires real-time ISR capability. I do think like-minded countries like the US and India need to come together to have a common operating picture, a real-time common operating picture. And that is, hopefully in the months and years ahead, we will see a lot more integration in terms of systems to provide that common operating picture to like-minded allies. I do feel also that in terms of technology development, whether it's quantum sensing or it is critical minerals, there is an investment in not only in terms of R&D that's required on both sides, but also in terms of the people, training and workforce development. I think some of the things that have been put in place have to be amplified multiple-fold, and we need to get the universities and academia involved on both sides. And I fully expect that in the Trump administration, all aspects will be looked at, but they will be given further impetus to move forward in all these domains. I would like to conclude by saying that in one of the pillars that is often neglected is the role of the industry captains. And I think the industry on both sides have gone to the next level where it's not just the large companies on both sides that are engaging, but also the medium and the small industries. And I think in the next few years, you will see a lot more partnerships at those levels, because that is the critical supply chain that both countries need to keep working on. And I also feel that the startup companies will have a large role to play, and you will start to see some of these companies become unicorns in the defense space. We are very proud of what we have done in the startup space with some of our partnerships, and I think that is something we will remain focused on, and I think the new administration will also encourage defense innovation and other aspects that I spoke about. Thank you.